Hey guys, Dr. Brown here with Kubo Math coming to you from Tarlac City, Philippines, and tonight we have 6th grade complex decimals. Whoa. Alright guys, let's get after it. And before we just dive in there, let's look at making equivalent fractions before we start so that everyone is on the same page. Okay? Here we have the fraction 3/4 or 3 divided by 4, and we're asked to convert that into an equivalent fraction that has a denominator of 16. Now the steps to do that are all the same. So as we go through this and you're challenged with this, you need to do these steps. First, take the fraction you want to go to, the denominator, and divide it by your existing fraction. So you would say 16 divided by 4, I say the equivalent denominator, and that equals 4. Now, you want to multiply the numerator by 4 and the denominator by 4. So you're making a new fraction here that you're going to multiply. It's 4 over 4. Well, what is 4 divided by 4? That's 1. So I'm multiplying 3/4 times 1. So I haven't changed anything. Alright, so that's step 1, divide. Step 2, make this fraction that's that number over that same number. 4 divided by 4, or whatever it happens to be, which is 1. Then multiply, the next step, step 3, multiply the denominator numbers together. 4 times 4 is 16. Make certain that whatever you're multiplying by each other gives you the denominator of your new fraction you're trying to create. If it doesn't, you've messed up. So if it does not, you need to go back and fix that. Okay? But if 4 times 4 is 16, and that is 16, now I can say, okay, 4 times 3, I can multiply the numbers in the numerator. 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 over 16 would be my equivalent fraction. That's the same as 3/4. Now we could check that. Well, what is 12? It's 4 times 3 divided by 4 times 4. 4 over 4 cancel, and I'm left with 3 over 4, which is what I started with. Okay? What about this one? Okay, what did we say the steps were? Step 1, take the new denominator and divide it by the old denominator. 100 divided by 20 equals 5. So I'm going to set up a fraction, 5 over 5, and multiply that, which is 1, times this fraction. 5 times 20 is 100. We confirmed I have the right number. 5 times 2 is 10. So 10 over 100 is the same as 2 over 20. Well, is it really? What is 2 over 20? 2 over 20 is really 2 over 2 times 10. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's 1 over 10. So we could have reduced this. So 10 over 100 is, let's see, 10 times 10 is 100. So 10 divided by 10 is 1 over that remaining 10 there. Now let's see, we could have done this 2 over 20. We have 10 over 100. 10 could be 2 times 5, and 100 is 20 times 5. 5 over 5 cancel, and I'm left with 2 over 20. So we could have done it that way. Okay? All right, I'm going to pause, clean up the board, and then we'll go again. Okay, we're back. Okay, how do we convert this guy, this 0.12 and a half, How do we convert that to a fraction? Well, you can see I have this decimal I want to move over 2 places. So anytime you have something like that, let's say I multiply that by 100 over 100, which is just 1. So I haven't changed anything, but 0.12 times 100, you'll notice there's 2 zeros here, and that will move that over 2 decimal points. So now I have 12 and 1/2 over 100. This 100 moved that decimal over. So now you have a whole number and a fraction. So you have 12 times 2 is 24, plus 1 is 25. 25 over 2 divided by 100. Okay, so that's really 100 over 1. So I know you guys do the butterfly method, but it's the exact same thing as inverting and multiplying. So that's 25 over 2, and if I flip that fraction over, it's 1 over 100. And I just put a dot for multiplication, okay? So 25 times 1 is 25. 2 times 100, 100 can be listed as 4 times 25. 25 divided by 25 is 1. 2 times 4 is 8. So that 0.12 and 1/2 is equivalent to 1/8. Okay? 0.2 and 2/9. I only want to move this decimal over 1 place, so I'm going to multiply it by 10. I have 1 0, but if I multiply by 10, I need to divide by 10. So that gives me 2 and 2/9 over 10. Well, 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. 20 over 9 divided by 10, which is over 1. And that equals 20 over 9, invert and multiply, times 1 over 10. And 20 can be listed as 2 times 10, times 1 is just 2 times 10, divided by 9 times 10. 10 over 10 is 1. 1 times 2/9 is 2/9. So we're just multiplying this by a number given how many decimal places I want to move. I'm just trying to get rid of the decimal. So if I move it 1 place, I need 1 0, which is a 10. But if I multiply by 10, I have to divide. In this case, I needed to move it 2 decimals, so I multiplied by 100. But if I multiply by 100, I need to divide by 100, so that that relationship has not changed. It's still equivalent. Okay? All right, I'm going to pause again and erase some more, and we'll be back. All right, we're back. Have 2 more problems here. We're trying to convert 0.75 to a fraction. Same concept involved as earlier. I want to move that decimal 2 places. So I need to multiply that by 100. Well, but if I multiply 100, I need to divide by 100. So 100 times 0.75 moves that 2 places, and that equals 75 over 100. Well, 75 over 100, let's see, that's 3 times 25 would be 75. 4 times 25 would be 100. So that 25 over 25 cancel. It leaves me with 3 over 4. And that is, in fact, 0.75. Let's see if we can challenge that. 3 divided by 4. Now I have a decimal point right here. Well, 3 can't go into 4, so I need to I'm going to put a few more zeros out here, so got my decimal point there. Well, 4 go into 30, go 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Leaves me 2, bring down to 0. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. Hey, 0.75 was what I started with. So that is 3 over 4. All right, what about this one? I want to move this thing 3 decimal points. I don't have the room here. I'm just going to put it on this side. So I need to multiply that by 1,000. But if I do, I need to divide by 1,000. So if I move it 1, 2, 3, which is however the same number of zeros that I had, I end up with 25 over 1,000. Well, let's see. What is 25 over 4 times 250? So 4 times 250, 4 times, I'm sorry. Sometimes my brain and my hand don't go together. All right, it's 25. 4 times 25 times 10. So 250 would be 25 times 10. 25 divided by 25 is 1. 4 times 10 is 40. So 0.025 is 1 over 40. All right, I've got 2 problems left. I'm going to pause again, erase the board, and then I'll be back. All right, how do we convert 3.25 to a decimal? Well, we could, if we wanted to, say, well, that's 3 plus 0.25. Okay, let me work with the 0.25 first. Oops, 0.25. Well, I want to move that 2 decimal places. So I'm going to multiply by 100, but divide by 100 also. So that equals 25 over 100. So that's 25 times 4 times 25. So 25 divided by 25 equals 1, and I have that 4. So that's 1/4. Okay, so now I have 3 and 1/4. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So that's 13 over 4 is the equivalent of 3.25. Okay, what about this guy here? Now some people say they can just look at that one and guess the answer. I don't know. 84.625. Okay. Let's do the same process as we did just a moment ago. That's 84 plus 0.625. So I'm going to go up here on the 0.625. We'll work with it. Whatever fraction we get, we'll bring it back down and add it to the 84. All right. Well, I need to move the decimal 3 places. So I need to multiply by 1,000. I have 3 zeros. But if I do, I need to divide by 1,000. So that equals 1,000 times 0.625 gives me 625 over 1,000. Oh, well, 5, we'll go into both. Let's see. What is that? 5 times 125. 5 times 5, 25. 2, 10, 11, 12. 1, 5. Yeah, that'll work. 5 times 125 over 4 times 250. And 250 was 25 times 10. 4 times 250 will give me that. All right, so that 125, I'm going to change that into, let's see, that 10, I'm going to change it into 2 times 5. The 125, I'm going to change it into 5 times 25. Okay, so the 25 over 25, it cancels. That 5 and that 5 cancel. And I'm left with that 5, the 4, and the 2. So equal 5, and 4 times 2 is 8. So all of that is 5 over 8. So now I have 84 and 5/8. Well, 84 times 8 plus 5. 84 times 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 3, 64. 5, 6, 7. 672 plus the 5. 677 over 8. Seems like an odd number, doesn't it? Well, let's see if that's correct. Okay, so we have 677 divided by 8. Okay, I'm going to put my decimal here so I don't lose it. I'm going to add some zeros out there because I may use some later. Okay, 8 times 8 is 64. Subtract from that, it leaves me 3. Bring down the 7. 8 times 4 is 32. So that leaves me 37 minus 32 is 5. Bring down the 0. 6 times 8 is 48. And that leaves me 2. Bring down another 0. 6 times 2, or 2 times 8 is 16, sorry. And 20 minus 16 leaves 4. Bring down another 0. Hey, 5. 5 times 8 is 40. 40 minus 40 is 0. 84.625 is the fraction 677 over 8. Is equivalent to 84.625. Now, in some of our lessons, we just say, well, I want to move that over 3 places, and then I just divide by 1,000. But really, to do that properly, to move that, I need to multiply it by 1,000. And then divide it by 1,000, multiplying it by 1,000, made it the 625. That's not so clear. We get used to just doing that, and then when you try to explain it, you think, oh, I've left a step out here. So to make it more clear, multiply it by 1, but that 1 being the number of zeros to the right of my 1 is the same number of zeros for the number of decimal points I'm trying to move. So that's really the highlight of this lesson. Okay, hopefully this helps. Why are we doing this? So that together we can build a better tomorrow, and do that through math. Okay? I hope these help you. Keep studying, learning. If there's any problems you need help on, some of you have my emails, the messenger and things like that. Just feel free to give me a shout, and we'll work through that. All right, guys, that's all for now, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.